All right, YouTubers, after some GoPro stuff, we're going to play a little game today. I'm a Class B owner. The person with me is a Class B owner, and figured she's going to fire off some questions about van life, I guess. We talked about doing this, and I didn't want to know any of the questions. So the ground rules for me are going to be, if there's something that I don't want to answer, I'm just going to say no. I'm not going to answer it. But I haven't heard any of these questions before. If you've watched me long enough, you know I'm not going to lie to you about it, and it doesn't really matter. But I haven't heard them, so I'm just going to have to think of what to say off the top of my head. So I thought of it as 20 questions, but she didn't come up with that many, but she came up with far more than I was hoping for. So we'll see how this goes. First question.
We're going to have to do this another time. They're not just van questions. They're questions. I screwed up.
Well, ask the first question. See what you got.
If you didn't spend time making YouTube videos, what would you do with your time?
If I didn't spend time making YouTube videos, well, that's a very good question, because she has learned how much time I spend doing videos, and it's a lot. I don't know. I'd probably get a different hobby. You know, it's probably something more productive I could do, because I don't want to complain, but not that many people watch my videos for the amount of time I spend. What would I do? I don't know, like when I'm traveling and doing the videos, all my time is usually at night. So when I'm working on videos, I got a movie playing in the background in the van and editing. But I still like doing them, whether the editing process is a pain or not. I enjoy sharing them. So that's my answer.
Related to, you know, your van thing. In what ways have your priorities changed in the last 5 years?
Oh, see, this is getting philosophical. This is not what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Have what ways in my priorities changed in the last 5 years? That's good. I think she's trying to get to the core. These are not what I was hoping for.
Sorry.
I think just this guy in front of me needs to go faster. The life is short. The seize moments, go do stuff you want to do. I mean, I think I always had that, but when I was a workaholic before the van life stuff, I didn't get to do all the things I want to do. So I think the last 5 years I have tried to do that, try to chase the things I really want to do. Is that a satisfactory answer?
Yes.
It's satisfactory, and it is what it is.
If money were unlimited and you could get a different RV, what would you get and why?
Oh, see, that's a tough one. Because if money was unlimited, I'd want like 3 different RVs. I like the leisure travel Unity, but it's not a Class B. It's a monster, so I don't know if I'd want that. I definitely have learned, whatever it is, I don't want a Mercedes. No offense to Mercedes people out there. Thanks. With your RV, it is fantastic if you could swap out the engine to something other than a Mercedes. That would be wonderful. I've been thinking about a truck camper lately. I think a truck camper could be really cool, because the hardest part for me is the way I travel. I need the pets to be safe. This person needs to go. So, and then a Vanagon would be cool. A Tesla truck with either a camper van or towing something. There's just so many cool things out there. I don't know if I should do this, but we're doing it.
You're good.
God, parents raised idiots. That guy wasn't young or old enough to be driving that slow. Okay, so that's my answer. That's a hard answer. I love the leisure travels. My leisure travel is old, but when I look at Class Bs, they don't technically make a Class B, but they put so much thought into how they do stuff. It's well organized. I like those. I would never really have a desire for a big honking class A or a fifth wheel. So it would be something that would still be small. I would say the Unity to give an answer. Sorry, that went on too long.
No, it's okay, because you know what I was thinking? If money were no object, I would probably want a four-wheel drive Mercedes van.
Well, see?
Because then you can go places that
Yeah.
you can't
Even with the last vet bill for the van, wouldn't turn you off a Mercedes?
Not if money were no object.
Oh, there you go. Well, money is no object to keep going to pay what it's going to be.
Right.
You need like a trust fund.
I think they're not all that bad.
No, I don't either.
If you...
But it's easier to have maintenance done on something other than a Mercedes if you're traveling.
That's true. And I guess you could probably make a different kind of van four-wheel drive if you wanted.
Sure. Sportsmobile.
There you
Okay.
go.
We're still on that. Now we're going to move on to the next one.
You took this big trip this summer, and what might be, if you had like unlimited time and faith in your RV, what would be the next 3 places you could imagine traveling to?
Oh, that's good. That's a fantastic question. There's always places I'd love to go back, but I won't include any of those. Number 1 where I would like to go would be Banff in Canada. I would love to do a lot of Canada. I mean, we'll call it one trip, but I've been to Nova Scotia. I've been to Newfoundland long ago. I would love to see almost all of Canada. It is just beautiful. I'd like the whole thing if money was no object to pay for gas, but I'd have to put Banff number 1. I guess, should I call all of Canada number 2?
Okay.
Or
Fair enough.
3 would be Alaska. Definitely would love to take a trip to Alaska. The kind of thing where you leave Washington State when the snow is just melting, and you get back to Washington State when the snow is just falling. So that would be number 2, Alaska. I have a hard time because I know everybody loves the Southwest. I've been in the Southwest. I know it's beautiful, but it doesn't do a lot for me. I've been by the Grand Canyon a few times, but I've never been to the Grand Canyon. So I'm going to say number 3 is Utah. It's nothing to do with that. I would say Utah. All 5 national parks, isn't it 5? I think there's 5. The big 5 they call them or whatever. Utah. Without a doubt. If time and money were no object. Because van life gets expensive. So those are my 3.
Can I give you a couple questions that aren't?
You can give me whatever you want.
Okay. If you won $1 million, what is the first thing you do?
If I won $1 million, the first thing I would do, pay off my debts. That wouldn't take much of it. I don't have I have a lot. I think I definitely would be travel. I think my first destination would be New Zealand. And if I'm going to New Zealand, I'm going to go back to Australia. I loved Australia when I was there for a bit. You just asked the first thing I would do?
Yeah, what's the first thing you would do?
I would pay my bills, so that doesn't even count. And I would travel there. And if you're going there, you get to spend more time in Hawaii again. And after that, I'd start buying stuff I can't afford.
We kind of talked about this between us in the past. Where would you like to live if it could be anywhere?
If it could be anywhere, again, there's a lot of fantastic places that I just couldn't afford on my budget.
Maybe I'll say that in the United States.
Oh, in the United States.
Yeah.
Still a lot of places I can't afford in the United States. the UP, I mean, I think that's like a given. I really like it up here. But winter's a whole different ball game. And I would love, it could happen sooner than I think. I would love to experience some winter up here. But I don't know if I'd want to experience every winter up here for the rest of my life. I loved Denver when I lived in Colorado. I loved Denver a lot. It's really beautiful there. Key West was awesome. I'm not a huge fan of all of Florida. I've seen a lot of it. You know, Florida, man, it's not just an internet joke. That's a real thing. I did really enjoy the Pacific Northwest. I'd say the Ute, probably.
Well, and this is kind of a ridiculous question, considering you're wandering. But would you rather go places or stay home? And maybe that depends on where you live.
Well, that's not a ridiculous question,
okay.
By the way. When I started this, I thought I was going to be full-time pretty quick in the van. And I realized I liked going back to a place that I really thought that I would be somebody that would turn in the keys to a house and never look back. But I kind of like that. I much prefer traveling, but I also need some recharge time where I'm not living in a van with 2 cats 24 hours a day. Did I hit that?
Yeah,
did I do that all right?
Very good. Okay. So you like balanced.
Balanced. I would say 70-30, you know, travel over a place. But I live in Ohio, so I'm always ready to leave. It's not terrible. It's just, it's like, Ohio is like toast without butter. It's all right. But wouldn't you rather have butter or cream cheese on it? Okay. I just invented that. I like that.
That was very smart. Ohio is like toast without butter. So everybody that follows your channel knows how special the campground in Ontonagon is to you.
Yes.
So what is it that makes you love a campground?
Huh.
You know, I'm thinking about that. And
yeah.
Specifically, maybe a couple things, like what you like about a campground.
Not too big and not too small. And location. I mean, with Ontonagon, it is right on Lake Superior. And you watch those sunsets from your bed if you choose to. And there's a lot to do in the area. Again, because of the cats, I'm stuck as being one of those that when I travel, I normally need power. You know, there's tons of places I know I would love to boondock, but I just don't feel comfortable. But yeah, and the people, you know, you go to a place over and over. I talk about my brother who goes to the same campground for 20 years in Tennessee, to the point he knows which site he wants, and I used to make fun of him. And then when I go to Ontonagon, I know which site I want, so I guess I kind of understand it. It's the little bit of familiarity, but I also love finding the new ones. But location. Give me some water. If there's no water, if you say, oh, this is a beautiful campsite in the middle of the woods, I'm gonna get bored after a day. Give me some water.
If there was one thing you could change about Eddie, what would it be?
Oh, better suspension. Better suspension. A nice smooth ride. And well, it's got to be 2. And I wish it was configured with like a real refrigerator. You know, instead of those little tiny Dometic ones that most Class Bs, older Class Bs have. I get refrigerator envy. But other than that, that's really about it. I'm very happy with mine. I'd make him 20 years younger. Wouldn't we all like to be 20 years younger? I'd be 4. Next question. I just lied to the people. That's the next question. We done?
Well, I mean, I have to think of some more like van travel related questions.
Okay.
Because
So I'm going to say, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say, have a great and wonderful day. And she has other questions that weren't van related that I'm going to go ahead and let her ask. And I can't tell you whether or not I'm going to answer them. So this could be the end of the video for you.
there was a misunderstanding.
It's okay.
If it were possible, what advice would you give your teenage self?
Oh, God. Calm down. You're not going to play shortstop for the New York Yankees. You keep thinking you're gonna, but you're just not.
Well, that's funny you should say that, because I thought that was going to be an answer to this other question, which is, what is a dream that you had as a younger person that didn't come true?
Oh, yeah. Wait for the... actually just be good enough to be... If I could have made AA, that would have been fine.
Well, see, that's not so bad.
No.
All right, let's see if I got
YouTubers, you get to hear that one.
What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
Oh, my God.
Don't answer.
No. What 3 words would I use to describe myself? Honest. I think I'm an honest person. Common hobo. That's a joke we've been doing. As opposed to a speckled or a bangled, a fancy hobo. I'm a common hobo. No. I'm fun-loving, I think. Honest. Well, it's hyphenated. That's a word.
Let it go.
Yeah, I don't normally get too wound up, but every now and then I do. I'm usually pretty mellow. We'll call that it.
Okay.
I think you're trying to get YouTube people to get inside the shell here.
Is there something you'd like to change about yourself if you could?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, there's lots of room
Maybe that's
for
kind of a lame
improvement.
question. You can skip that.
I wish I could change it. I don't seem to buy the winning lottery tickets. That's all I got. Punctual, that's it. Punctual. I'm always late. Always late. It's a horrible quality. There's worse ones I have. That's just what YouTube gets.
I'd like to stop procrastinating.
Oh, yeah. I'll stop procrastinating tomorrow. Yeah.
Which is more important, personal happiness or financial security?
Happiness. I made that decision a long time ago. I used to make money. Now, I get by. I'm about as happy as I've ever been and about as poor as I've ever been. On paper, my bank account. No doubt on that one. I'm going to pause. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen underhanded behind your back. GoPro stopper. All right, she shanghaied me with 3 more questions. 3, she says.
So when you're traveling and you think about where you'd like to overnight, would you rather be on an ocean or lake?
The old ocean or lake question. First, it's got to be water. And Oceans are usually warm. Lakes are usually often mountains. I would say this, before I started RVing, I wouldn't have hesitated and I would have said ocean. And now I've done enough traveling that I've been to more and more lakes. And it's a toss-up. I can't pick. The coin landed on its side. It's a push.
Okay. When you're traveling on the road, I know you tend to overnight in campgrounds as you're traveling. But I was wondering if you would like to talk about your thoughts on, this isn't really a question, I guess, but
Okay.
Overnighting in a Walmart or other parking lot.
I've done it. In these years, I've probably done 4 to 6 nights in a Walmart, and probably closer to 4. And probably 5 or 6 in a gas station. The reason I don't do it, and maybe I've just been unlucky, is I haven't found the ones that are really quiet. And with 2 cats, and cats aren't nocturnal, there's something in the middle, there's a fancy word for it. I can't sleep if there's commotion going on outside and I'm traveling. I just can't sleep. They'll run over me. So that's the main reason that I don't stay in those. I've had more success at some of the big gas stations, because being in a van, I don't have to park in the back with the loud trucks, and at night it tends to be a little quieter. But that's the reason I don't Walmart it.
Okay. And this is
Friggin' cats.
Sorry.
One-eared idiot. One-eared diabetic idiot. And a grumpy cat. Sorry. We got off on a rant here. Go ahead.
You love them.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have something more exciting for the last question, but there's kind of a debate as to what is the ideal amount of time to travel in a day. What is the best amount of time that works for you?
That's a good question. Back in the day, before the RV day, I was a drive 17, 18 hours on a trip. I got to get there, and then brag about how quick I made a trip. I'm not that way anymore. But the first limit I'll set is with Vinny, who gets freaked out, the one-eared diabetic cat. He gets freaked out and he has to ride on my lap, and he's 17 pounds. About 9 hours, and he's done. And he's all over the place, driving me crazy. So I don't like doing much more than 9 hours personally. I'd say what would be perfect is my trips, even this long trip out west, I had a destination to get to, you know? So I always tend to go a little bit further each day. I would say for me, 6 hours would probably be perfect. I'm way past the point of wanting to either, because this has happened, I don't want to arrive at a campground when it's dark, and I've seen some others on YouTube do it, like it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, and now we're going to start looking for some place to stealth camp or something like that. I have no desire to do it that way. And I know for me, I don't know for you with the dog, it all comes down to the animals. You know, they just can't take all day driving anymore. But I think for me to be happy, I'm not a morning person, Bodo, and I am, that goes along the same question. When I am traveling, I like to get up early, and I like to get to a place and have a little bit of time to unwind, to look around, you know, explore whatever I can explore, and to make a meal. It always used to be a London broil or burgers. Now it's going to be less of that and more vegan stuff. But it is much nicer for me now to get to a place and relax a little bit. I'm trying to learn that it is the journey. the hippie journey. This hair's coming off one of these days, YouTubers. I don't know. So are we done?
Unless you want to talk more.
Well, no, I got nothing else. I answered all the questions. I didn't say no to anything.
You didn't. You were supposed to, though.
No, but, for full disclosure for you guys in the background, I did say there's some topics I wasn't going to talk about. If you've watched long, I don't like getting very personal. I don't share too much of my personal life. So I didn't want to share a lot of that. And money, I don't like to talk about money. I don't want yours. I have a little bit of mine. That's all we need to talk about, money. But other than that, I tried to be honest and open with all the questions. And hopefully there's a couple people out there that enjoyed it. And we're going to call this it. And I'm going to say, I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Would you like them to have a great and wonderful day?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, sure. What the hell? Why not? All right, YouTubers. I just wanted to add something real quick. I hope you enjoy it again. And I did this as a way saying if anybody's got some questions, shoot them at me. I'll do a video answering your questions. And like I said at the beginning of this one, I said to her, some might be no. But I'll do my best to answer questions. All right. Now bring them. Bring the questions.